guys, it's Humble Tea back again with another story time. I feel like I haven't done a story time in a long time. Today's story time, guys, believe it or not, is about the time my Uber driver lied on me. Now, how the hell does an Uber driver lie on you? Like, they pick you up from your destination and drop you to another, right? If only life was so simple. I just gotta tell y'all, because it's not a joke. This is my life. So, this is about 2-3 years ago. I was in college around that time. I was still living with my mom or whatever. And my car was in the shop. So now that my car was in the shop, I had to go to class. And they had told me that my car was going to be ready by the time I go to class. Because I had like an afternoon class that day. I didn't have like a morning class. And I'm over here waiting for my car, and then that's when they dropped the news on me, like, yeah, your car's not gonna be ready. Boo-hoo, sad, still had to go to class. I called an Uber. Called Uber from my house. Uber was outside in 1 minute. Gave it 5 stars. My Uber driver pulls up, nice little black car. Get inside the car. The car is nice. AC was cranked because it was hot around that time. AC was cranked. You feel me? It was nice, okay? I was already giving you 5 stars for that itself, okay? So now I'm sitting in the vehicle, and you know, when you're in an Uber, the first thing that's always on after you say hello is your headphones. After you say hello, you know your headphones is on. My headphones, I was in the process of untangling them. So I was untangling my headphones. I'm hearing his music, and his music sound like compa. And you know, compa is the key to my soul. So I'm like, oh, you Haitian? And he's like,
yeah, I'm Haitian or whatever.
I'm like, oh, that's crazy. I was like, because, you know, that's my song that you're playing. Didn't even need the headphones no more because he turned it up. Like, we're on the parkway or whatever. He turns down the music a little bit. He goes like, oh, from where I picked you up, I don't live too far. I'm like, where? He's like, yeah. He's like, I live around the corner from where I picked you up. He was like, oh, Lord, I said, don't come, whatever. We need to support each other. He's like, because I didn't know if you could, and I still don't know if you can request certain people on Uber. So he was like, yeah, you could request me on Uber, so that way I could be your personal driver if you need it. And I was like, yeah, I don't really need a personal Uber driver because I have a car, and it just, so the mechanic wasn't ready or whatever. So he was just like, oh, okay, so since I'm not going to see you through Uber no more, is there any way, like, I could take your, because, you know, Uber gives your number. He's like, is there any way I could take your number off Uber, and then I can contact you from there, whatever the case is. He was like, you seem like a nice person. I just want to get to know you, this and that. I was like, sure, not a problem. So now I get to class. As I sit down, I get a message. The message goes, hey, this is your Uber driver, the one who just dropped you off. Just wanted to let you know, have a great day. I said, thank you. Storing you in my phone now. Even though it was a lie, but you know, just let people know that your message is seen, okay? Now I'm in class, taking notes, paying attention, getting an education. 5 minutes later, I get a text from my Uber driver. So now I open the message, and the message just says, and I quote,
lovely seeing you today, the angel of my eye. I'm so happy that I finally met the woman of my dreams, and I pray that I don't lose her. And I hope you have a beautiful day, my love. Can't wait to see you later.
I done fucked up. That's exactly what happened in my head. I done fucked up, okay? I done fucked up. Because I'm like, how the hell? It was just more, and I can't remember because it was like 2 years ago. It was just so much. So I just kindly blocked the man. Did more than once. Like, I didn't block him right off the bat because, again, I was in class. But from that time period that I was in class, I remember getting like a good 3 to 4 messages very similar to him preaching his love to me and telling me how much we're going to get married and we're going to have kids and all this extra shit. And I had to fucking evacuate the mission. Okay, so now we fast forward a year later. A year later, I was dating this guy. So I'm dating this guy, and you know, guys, they like to show off their girls. And he took me to where his friends was at. So, being that his friends were there, there was a whole bunch of guys there, just a whole bunch of people I didn't even know nobody's face, okay? I ain't gonna lie to you, I didn't know nobody's face. 3 days later, my boyfriend at that time comes up to me like, oh, so you was fucking with that nigga that was at the party and you never told me? I said, I said, who are you talking to? And who the fuck are you talking about? Okay? He's like, yeah, the nigga that was at the party, whatever, he told me that he used to date you and y'all used to fuck around heavy and this and the third and the whatever and the whatever and the whatever and the whatever and the whatever. I'm like, who are you talking about? You feel me? He's like, yeah, he kept saying the person's name. And obviously, him saying the person's name even more, it wasn't clicking to me. So he started describing who the person looked like. Then I'm like, I don't know who that is. I don't know who that is. I really don't. You ever, like, meet somebody and that person could have looked familiar to you, but you just don't remember? We argued about it, right? We was like, it wasn't like we squashed the beef. It was still in our mind. But I went home. I wasn't going to argue about it. Next day, slept on it, woke up. Why the hell I remember the person he was accusing me about was the fucking Uber driver. The Uber driver ended up being my current boyfriend's friend at that time. And he told my current boyfriend at that time that me and him used to fuck and all this extra shit. So when I put Zoom together, I called my boyfriend, that current boyfriend at the time, and I'm like, are you talking about that nigga, that nigga, that nigga? He's like, yeah. I was like, does that man do Uber? He's like, yes. I was like, oh, okay. Well, that's how I'm his imaginary girlfriend. Through Uber for 3 minutes in his car of him giving me a ride that I paid for from my house to go get my education. That is how I was his girlfriend. And then I confronted his friend too. I went off because I was like, you know what? Y'all not going to disrespect me like that. I was like, you're not going to, I was like, one thing you're not going to do. See, what you're not going to do is disrespect me. You could disrespect everybody else out here, but you're not going to disrespect me. Like, why would you even? Because I think it is for. Because I think it is for. Yes, I should. Really was sitting there the other day thinking about this story, and I'm just like, how the hell do you get from pick up this customer to can I get your number to literally in a minute I love you to blocked to a year later we had sex, okay, and all this extra shit? Like, you don't even know my name. Una Deus, tayo. Una bleve sa fami, tayo. Sa indication. Anyway, that's enough of story time. That is how the Uber driver lied on me. Guys, if you have a similar story, please do not hesitate to let me know. I would love to hear what happens to you guys, because I know life is not all peaches and cream. There are some dumb things people accuse you of, and you just got to really sit there and be like, when the hell did I have time to do all of that? And when the hell did I do that? You know what I mean? So, please, let me know. Toodaloo. Have a great day. Love you guys.